sweet.
Yes, she is.
We're doing some really fun stuff about Sugah because it is the South. This is Devon's Table. I'm Devon O'Day.
I'm Sylvia Gagne.
And I'm Faith Ford.
You know, I love it when it's the holiday season and we got relatives that come to visit and we say, look, we're doing shows at Green Door Gourmet. And she's like the resident gourmet in our family. So I brought her along.
She's just telling me about all these fun ideas, and now I can't wait to get cooking even more. I'm getting so inspired. It's awesome.
That's what happens. That's what happens. Well, we're going to talk sugar because it is the sugar season, right?
Yes, and a lot of times people don't realize that there are so many different ways to sweeten things, and there are ways that are traditional. You have to use them for a particular reason, but there are other things that you can substitute very easily.
Well, you taught me a little bit during the end of summer season when we had sorghum, and I know we're going to be talking about that. And we got the plain old white, regular, good old sugar. But let's start at the beginning and go through all the ways to make life a little sweeter.
Okay. We wouldn't have enough time of the day to put out all the different varieties of sugar that are out there, so I picked some of the most common ones that you're going to see. So regular sugar, granulated sugar. Not caster sugar or superfine, it's just a regular grind of sugar. Most baking recipes call for this kind of sugar, and it is more about the volume versus the sweetness. So it works almost like a binder. So you need the volume. So if it calls for a liquid sweetener, that's more interchangeable than using the granular sugar. Okay.
Gotcha.
Powdered sugar. This is sometimes, my granny called it icing sugar. Did your mom ever call it icing sugar?
Yes, I've heard that.
So icing sugar, you make the very best buttercreams and everything else out of your powdered sugar with a little dash of vanilla and some really good butter, and just let it go low and slow. And then we have brown sugars. And brown sugars are first cousin to these sugars, but they haven't been refined. And so you have light brown sugar, you have dark brown sugar. The most deep Appalachian cooks will tell you always are going to use dark brown sugar. We like it darker, but most modern recipes are going to call for light brown sugar.
I knew I was deep Appalachian somewhere.
Yeah, he is somewhere down in there. You are my sister by another mother. And so these are also baking sugars used especially in the holiday time. So you want to have that apple stack cake. You got to have that to make stack cake.
I use my crumble with my pecans.
Oh yeah, sounds good. Demerara or turbinado sugar. This is a brown granulated sugar, and it works great to put on topping of cookies or anything else that you want it to have a deeper flavor. It also is great on creme brulee. And so instead of using this that you have to burn to a smithereens, this melts fast and creates this beautiful kind of golden sheet on top of creme brulee. So use this type of sweetener. After that, we have honey.
I love honey, and get the real honey. That stuff most of the stuff in the Bears is not real honey. It is like corn syrup with a little honey flavor.
Buy a Bear jar, put good honey in it, and
there
you know where
go.
It comes from. A way to test if it's real honey or not is put a little drop of water, and if the water goes through, the honey has been cut because it can penetrate going through.
Really?
And so that's a way to test. So real honey, you wouldn't have water going into it. You don't want to put it in a whole big jar of it. Just do a little bit because water starts to ferment honey and you'll have mead. So don't put a whole bunch of water to see if it's good, all right?
You'll get drunk on your honey.
But I love when you open a jar of honey, the whole aroma of a
oh
meadow
my gosh, yes.
happens right
then
and there.
Wow.
So liquid gold, a bee makes 1 teaspoon in their lifetime. Think about the hardworking bees.
Wow.
So thankful for our pollinator friends.
And thanks for all the wonderful Tennessee Beekeepers Association that has wonderful beekeepers all over our state with good local honey like you have at Green Door Gourmet.
You got to support them, y'all. Then we have sorghum. Of course, this is sorghum that we made here. It has all those wonderful tropical notes, a little orange, a little of those flavors. So if it says molasses, you can interchange sorghum for the molasses.
And it's so good. And the pineapple notes, that's the thing. It had a kind of a pineapple taste to it when we tried it here.
Yeah, it's really good with bourbon too.
What region is more popular for sorghum?
Deep South, Appalachian.
Really?
Because molasses is a byproduct of sugarcane. So the further south you go, the more that was available.
Really?
Sugarcane can't grow here, so this is our version of molasses, if you will, even though it's a different sort of byproduct.
Now here is Faithy's thing.
Maple syrup. I have it in this. You can just turn it up and just chug it. It's all good. So a really good, I like a medium amber color syrup. After that, we have date syrup. And you
I've never heard of that in my life.
It's really very interesting. It's super thick.
Fascinating. Can I smell it?
Yeah, you can smell it.
Can the smell of it?
But it is wonderful for making the old-fashioned puddings.
Okay.
And like a figgy pudding. If you want to make a figgy pudding, you're going to use more of a date syrup sort of thing. And then you have the good old-fashioned Karo that we all grew up with. And the one thing that I will say is a lot of people think Karo is high fructose corn sugar. It is not. It is a corn syrup. It is made from corn. It has, other things in there. It has a little caramel color, all of that, but it is not high fructose corn syrup. There's a little bit of a difference there. So if you're eating pecan pie once a year and your great granny's recipe had Karo syrup and you don't want to venture out to try it with date syrup or maple syrup or honey or sorghum, we're going to forgive you just that once.
You know what I did one time? I didn't have anything to sweeten. I didn't want to make a full cream cheese frosting. So I just used cream cheese and I sweetened it for cupcakes or like muffins. And I sweetened it with maple syrup a little bit because I don't like it too sweet. Plus my mom's diabetic. And cinnamon. It was really good. And I just topped these cupcakes with it. It was like quick and easy.
Sounds delicious.
Warm.
See, I'm getting inspired again.
And one of the things not here is if you're from Louisiana or in the South, you remember the yellow can of Steen's ribbon cane syrup. It's the thick, it's like sorghum, but different because it comes from sugar cane, not a sorghum cane, but it's delish too.
We'll have to get some of that for the next time. So you were mentioning that your mom's diabetic. So I just wanted to quickly touch on all of these things. They're going to be not super good for people with glycemic index issues, right? But as you get into these sweeteners, going from honey all the way down the line in this order: honey, sorghum, maple syrup, date syrup, Karo syrup. That is the trigger for glycemic index. So these natural sweeteners don't have the exact same reaction as these sugars. So it takes some of that pressure off the people that need something natural.
My mom, who's very smart and educating herself about that, she found out about maple syrup and now she uses it in her coffee to sweeten her coffee. And that's one of the reasons I did that. I said, well, I could use it just about for everything. I can use it for, and I use organic and everything. I'd love to learn how to make it, but I'm not near any kind of trees that you could do that. I mean, I'm just not going to do it, but it would be nice to say.
I'd love to, but no.
I like to appreciate the artisans that actually make it,
Yes, let's support the good farmers that are around. And, and the more fiber, so you're making a dessert. If you've got someone who's diabetic, making something, the higher the fiber, that really helps too, because that automatically lowers your net carbs. And so whether you're keto or diabetic, always make sure that if you have a high fiber thing, it might be a treat that you can have that feels kind of like a treat, like a sweet, like a muffin or something that you want to put a little icing in. It feels like a treat, but it doesn't hurt you so bad.
Figs.
I'm very, very close friends with
them. The preserves, good fig preserves.
Yeah.
And you know how you like to have them fresh and on a hot biscuit? Well, my mom loves those. And do you think that you could is fig syrup as good as date syrup? I mean, could you do that with figs?
I have never tried it. However, there's a first time for everything.
Oh, well, hey. But you can eat the whole fig, but I'm just saying if there's any extra runoff, say, some extra juice.
Yeah, if you were cooking them down and you had too much liquid in the pot, that would probably be a good thing to do. You could take that off. You would have to cook it with a little bit of sugar in order to get it to congeal and put some pectin in it. But I think it could work.
Could you use a different what kind of sugar would be a good sugar to use that not as bad? None of those, no. But, I mean, is there any other kind of sugar?
If I was going to pick, I would probably do a brown sugar versus a bleached white.
See, I'm so glad you said that because I thought brown would be better if I was going to pick a sugar.
Or you could just put your finger in it and
we could talk sugar for hours, but we're not because the show isn't that long. But we'll be back at the end of the show to discover if there might be a recipe for fig syrup or
something
like that.
Any recipe you want, it's at greendoorgourmet.com. I promise you'll find a lot there. We'll be right back.
Nestled in Nashville along the Cumberland River, Green Door Gourmet is a 350-acre organic farm, agritourism operation, and on-farm store. Green Door Gourmet grows a wide variety of fruits, flowers, vegetables, and herbs using holistic organic methods, providing our customers, including local restaurants and florists, with the absolute best direct from the field produce. Enjoy seasonal cut farm flower bouquets all summer long with our Green Door Gourmet Flower CSA. Farm field trips are offered March through October, as well as seasonal cooking classes and on-farm events such as our annual Fall Fest. Our on-farm store features Green Door Gourmet produce as well as products from our farm partners, the area's best local producers, including grass-fed meats, honey, jam, dairy, baked goods, and much more. Our local farm box program allows customers to take home a box with a variety of produce options based on what is growing at Green Door Gourmet. Join us in the spring for the You Pick Strawberry season. Our Countrypolitan White Oak Community Center is the perfect setting for weddings, meetings, farm-to-table and corporate events, and social occasions. Come visit Green Door Gourmet, just minutes from downtown Nashville.
And we're going to meet Dani Williamson, who knows how to do you, right?
That's
Hi,
exactly right. Thank you so much. I do know how to do you, and I know how to help you do you.
That's amazing. And let's talk about this wonderful book that, I, first of all, Wild and Well. You are my hero. You're my hero. I'm going to get this so we can get a nice up close to you because I love your hair. I love your look.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
crazy
you.
woman. Tell me what do you preach?
Let me tell you, I grew up in complete chaos in my household, and I was sick with irritable bowel syndrome. My mom had tried to die by suicide. My grandfather did. Lots and lots of stress in my life.
Yeah.
Diagnosed with lupus at 35, chronic itching, irritable bowel for years, depression. It took 24 years and 10 doctors. I was 44 years old, had just graduated nurse practitioner school on food stamps and a medical card because I went through a nasty divorce and I had 2 little kids. 24 years, 10 doctors before a doctor ever leaned into me and said, Dani, what are you eating? Don't you know your diet controls your symptoms? Do you take digestive enzymes and probiotics and things like that? It completely turned my entire world around, the whole trajectory of my life and my practice. I changed my entire practice. I had just spent $200,000 in an education at Vanderbilt. Never once was I told there's a root cause for your patient's heartburn or her diarrhea or her depression or her migraine headaches. They weren't born with migraine headaches. We weren't born with lupus. We turn that on. And I am living proof what you turn on, you can turn off. And I preach it from the mountaintops every single day.
Man, I just got chills. Chill bumps is what we call them where we're from. Goosebumps to some people.
Me too. It's chill bumps. Yes.
Yeah. This book, where can they find it?
That book is on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Parnassus Books, Books A Million, Powell Books. Anywhere you buy books online, it will, and it's available right now for pre-order in the book form. It'll be released November 9th. You can get the ebook immediately right now on Amazon. And it's gone #1 already on Amazon for new releases in paperback and hardback. So I'm really excited. It is a book on common sense, practical medicine. That's what I do. I'm a common sense, practical medicine person. That's not rocket science.
Where can we get in touch with you? Because if you're in the Middle Tennessee area for your one-on-ones.
That's right. DaniWilliamson.com. And so that everything you need is on there. My Facebook, my social, my Instagram, my YouTube, Dani Williamson Wellness. I give out hours of free education all week long on all three of those.
I love it. So follow Dani. I always say my new slogan is 60 is the new sexy.
You bet.
And so go into those menopausal years with all the ammo that you need to have a good body.
Listen, going through menopause is a right and a privilege that is denied by many people. And if you have lived long enough to get to experience the beauty of going through this transition, then you thank God for it and you embrace it, and you just know that it's an honor and a privilege. And when you get to the other side of menopause, you are going to be in such a great place. I think it's fantastic. And also, to get in touch with us, you can come to the supplement store. We have a supplement store called Wild and Well, a wellness emporium, and it's connected to our office, Integrative Family Medicine. It's open 6 days a week. So,
and where is that? Where is it?
It's in Franklin on Mallory Station Road, 330 Mallory Station Road, Wild and Well Wellness Emporium. Come in there. Come see us. I'm in the office 5 days a week, but the supplement store is open 6 days a week.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dani. What a treasure trove. You take care.
I appreciate you. Thank you. I feel the same about you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
This holiday season, the largest lantern event in the country returns to Nashville Zoo. See more than 1,000 Chinese lanterns. Welcome back to Zoo Illumination at Nashville Zoo. Bigger, brighter, and better than ever.
What's special about 50 Forward? You can physically see the impact that 50 Forward has on individuals who come here time and time again. It is the physical activity that folks can become involved, take part. It's getting their muscles active again, the blood flowing. So many folks I see who come to 50 Forward are retired and looking for their second act.
My name is Gail Gold, but most people call me Gigi. And I live a very busy, active, exciting life. I am a travel agent. I have been to all 7 continents. I stay really busy playing badminton, pickleball, teaching yoga classes, dancing, in the summer swimming. And to keep my mind active, I'm in 2 book clubs, 2 Scrabble clubs, and I read about 52 books a year. My mind thinks I'm still 18, but sometimes my body lets me know that my next birthday I'll be 80.
Some are coming because they're just ready to have fun, but fun looks different than it did 10 years ago or 20 years ago.
Well, I think it's very different, and I think a big part of it is your mental attitude. You have the exercise classes, they have a lot of programs, games to play, movies to see, just a lot of things that help us live a better life.
My name is Joseph Murray. I've always been around airplanes because I was in the United States Air Force for 13 years. And I always wondered what it would be like to jump out of an airplane, parachute out of an airplane. So just for the experience, I decided to do the tandem skydive. But it was a relief when my feet did hit the ground.
Every day I go to 50 Forward. I have friends that I've made there. I had a heart attack, I had 5 bypasses, and I had a stroke. And so that's why it's important to me for a healthy lifestyle.
It's the social aspect of it is very important in addition to the physical opportunities.
The services and activities we provide at 50 Forward really, I think, are geared toward getting them mentally, emotionally connected with another individual.
50 Forward Fresh Meals on Wheels delivers meals to homebound seniors 5 days a week. They get a healthy meal. They get a visit from someone in the community. Someone checks on them. Someone really cares.
Isolation is one of the real problems now with people getting older, and this helps fight that problem also.
One lady put it this way. She says, it's like I get a guest 5 days a week that I didn't invite, but I'm so glad they came to my door. When we join together, we are building a new community many times as we age, and this community can really be centered in the things that 50 Forward has to offer. I love our tagline, Love Life at 50 Plus, because isn't that what we all want to do?
Hey there, this is Dalton Quigley. Periodically, I show you guys some of my jobs. Let's take a look at a beautiful aluminum fence that we just installed. I did show you guys the design. We didn't do all the other work, but we did wind up installing the fence. So let's take a look. So right here is our fence. It's a 5-foot tall aluminum fence. Every post has 80 pounds of concrete. If you can imagine, right down there is 80 pounds of concrete times every post for every panel. One cool thing about this project is this lock. Let me show you this cool lock. So right here, if you've ever had an aluminum fence, a lot of times the locks are difficult to deal with. But on this job, all you simply do is pull this little knob up. And I don't have a free hand, but I'll try, and pull on the gate, and ta-da, the gate comes open and it closes nice and smoothly. In the very back, we have a 10-foot gate by using 2 5-foot gates on hinges, and so they swing open. And on the other side, there's a 5-foot gate. So anyway, each side's 100 feet. The very back is about 63. They have a Rottweiler and 2 labs, and they're going to let them loose. Let's take a look at those impatiens I showed you guys pictures of. Aren't they cool? Well, great. I'll check in with you guys at another job later. See you soon. Bye.
I'm Devon O'Day, and we are here with some folks that are, I love it. Their story is they're friends and they travel together. Man, doing these shows like this, that's a lot of fun, but a lot of work.
It is, but it's very rewarding because we get to meet new people like yourself. We are from North Carolina. This is our first time at the show, and coming together has been a great experience because who gets to say I got to experience Nashville with my best friend every day? So we got to do that, and we're here and we're happy. We met a lot of awesome people. The host has been great. So yeah, we're really excited.
Your company is called SimplyGraceClayCo. What do you make?
I make polymer clay earrings and accessories. I also make faith-based t-shirts. Bracelets, necklaces, anything you can think of that you could do with clay, I make it. And the cool thing about that is my husband, he designs our cutters in-house. So any kind of shape or say moose. I say this, I use this example all the time, but like somebody asked us for moose earrings, and we were able to do that because we design our cutters in-house. So moose earrings. Who would have known people want moose earrings?
Well, I tell you probably had a request for that this week. We had Ottawa in town playing hockey. So all the Canadians were in town because they might ask for moose earrings for sure.
My husband was on a TDY. We both served the military, and as he was away, we had 2 younger boys under the age of 5. So I needed to do something to pass time while he was gone. So I tried my hand at this. And I gave up at first because I was like, no, there's other people who do great and I'm just beginning. But God kept telling me, give yourself grace like I give you and just keep pushing through. And he has guided me through this 3 years. We celebrated 3 years this year being open. And I've been able to do ministry and my business together. So it's been a blessing to me and my family and meeting all the people along the way.
Thank you for what you do. Do you have a website where they can go to?
So you can find me on Facebook or Instagram. Instagram is going to be SimplyGraceClayCo, and you can do orders through there. The website is down right now, but we're revamping. We have new things to come in 2023, so we're really excited for that. So yeah, check us out.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd. The goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Don't miss a minute of the action this season. Visit NashvillePredators.com/tickets to get your seats today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets. And we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
In woodworking, you start with a tree that's dead, it's fallen down, and it's good for nothing but to be burned, really. But then somebody comes along and cuts it up, works on it, takes away all of the ugly parts, and then slowly and sometimes painfully turns it into something beautiful.
Narrowgate Lodge, this is Eric. How can I help you?
This is a story. Well, actually, this is many, many stories, and yet it's all the same story. But each story is different, and yet the same. This is one story told through many voices. This is the story of what God is doing in and through the lives of the young men of Narrowgate. Hi, my name is Sam, and I'm a student here at Narrowgate. I've even got the t-shirt to prove it. I've actually been a student here for 8 months, and I'm set to graduate next Saturday. Y'all can come if you want. My story starts like hundreds of other guys, with a phone call, an email, or an application to attend Narrowgate Lodge and discover who I am and why I'm here.
Narrowgate Lodge offers an intensive discipleship experience for guys 18 to 25. Guys come from all different backgrounds, but they all have one thing in common. They're looking for more. As campus director, I personally interview almost every guy that applies. I've seen God do some tremendous, even miraculous things over the last 10 years. I'm one of those miracles myself.
I came to Narrowgate to grow in my relationship with Jesus.
I came to Narrowgate because I thought I knew all about Jesus, but I was wrong.
I came to Narrowgate because I had no idea who Jesus was, but I was willing to learn.
I'll be honest, I came to Narrowgate because I was living a purposeless life, playing video games for literally 12 hours a day. I'm so grateful my parents told me about it and encouraged me to apply. After going through 2 phone interviews, I was accepted as a student and started planning for my orientation day.
I love orientation day. I get to spend the first 30 days with the new foundation guys. We've been planning for these guys and praying for these guys, and then they finally show up.
Orientation day, I did not want to be here. I asked my parents to take me back home, and I'm glad they didn't, because I've been here 4 months and God's really changed my heart.
So on the first day, we learn all about Foundation Hill and how we're going to survive living outdoors for the next 35 days. We get our gear, we get instruction, we get prayer, and we get going.
Foundation Hill is where the guys get to spend their first 35 days. They get to know one another, learn basic camping skills, and begin to learn how to hear the voice of God.
Before Narrowgate, I did believe there was a God, but it didn't mean anything to me because I didn't think He would save anyone like me. In Foundation, we took an in-depth look at the life of Jesus in the book of John. And I remember realizing that Jesus, He was hanging out with outcasts and sinners and kind of rebels. And it made me realize that Jesus came to save people like me. If it weren't for Narrowgate and falling in love with Jesus the way that I have, there's no way I would be the person that I am today.
This is a story. This is our story. It's your story, because we're all just a part of His story. The greatest story ever told. The story of Jesus redeeming the world and transforming individual lives through His miraculous love.
We are Bill and Stacy Spencer. We're the executive directors and founders of Narrowgate Foundation here in Middle Tennessee. You know, the beautiful thing about the offer that Narrowgate makes to these guys is that it's really simple. If for 8 months you could shut down all the expectations of life, you have no bills to pay, you have no stresses and social environment to worry about, everything's provided, everything's protected, and for 8 months, you get to ask 2 questions. Who am I, really?
My job is not to make furniture or to make guitars. It's to make disciples. Getting to take a part in God's work of healing them and bringing peace into their life, that'll change you.
When I see our guys
They're trees of righteousness. Now, they may only be a little sapling right now, right? Because they're 18, 19, 20 years old. But what are they going to look like when they're 40 and 50 and 60? And God gave me a picture that it's going to be like, I'm going to be like a child running through these huge oaks of righteousness that have been planted, lots of trees that are producing fruit for the kingdom.
I think it's funny because a lot of people want to separate ministry and business. And there just is no separation. The Great Commission's pretty simple. In your going, as you go, make disciples. That's it. So it doesn't really matter if you're doing that in a market space, in an office, if you're doing it on a job site, if you're doing it in your family, if you're doing it as ministry on this. Look, none of that matters. Stay connected to God and connected to people, and let that be the guide that leads you into the ministry you're supposed to do right then. If we just did those two, we'd change everything.
Well, now we got to go make desserts. GreenDoorGourmet.com has all sorts of recipes, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, including some really fun dessert ones.
Well, whatever you're doing, if you're watching your sugar, you learned on this episode the better sugars to use. And be healthy out there, guys, as much as you can, but always indulge, maybe just a bite.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. We'll be back next week with more. GreenDoorGourmet.com. Check it out. And thanks to our friends at Amber Falls Winery, because everything they have is delicious, right?
Yes.
And if you're looking for a blessing, you got to first be one.